Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 25th of July 2020. Welcome to video number 211. Today I want to talk about this very important subject, what to do and how to deal with situation when you failed big. Listen, this situation is something that, it happened, it happens, and it will happen. You've got to understand that this kind of situations when you failed is something that you cannot control. Because first of all, you need to understand that no matter how much your motives are you meant well, you cannot protect yourself. You cannot make that it will never happen, because there's so many elements, so many variables in this whole life's equation that you have no control over. That even if you meant well, even if you planned everything, something can go wrong just because you don't have control over it, and it derail the whole thing. So I want you to understand this major thing, that you will never be able to protect yourself from it. You will make mistakes. So that's why it's so important for you not to find a way not to do it, although it's better to to have a plan B, to strategize, to do this and that. But it will happen. It will happen for you, and it will happen for her, and it will happen for both of you. So that's why don't overthink it, don't overstress it. Just know that it's going to happen, and find a way to deal with whatever happens, even proactively and post-mortem. So that's the first thing. Second thing, you got to understand that this kind of situation, when it happens, especially when when you're the failing party in this whole thing, that's going to be important, because you're going to feel much worse because you failed. Is that whenever this kind of situation happen, the problem might get even worse, because the emotions are rising, stress is rising, and then what many times happen, especially if you're not really grounded relationship that is dealing with the problems the right way, is the retaliation. You did something wrong, obviously it's your fault, but then the worst thing that your wife, your girl can do is to retaliate, to do something against you and to hurt you even more, just because you failed, just because you broke the promise, or you basically she told you that it is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because then not only have to deal with the problem that you already have to deal with, but then you complicate this like to the 10th degree, just because you have no ability to control yourself, and then the problem is much worse to deal with, because now you've got two. And it won't help you to control yourself, it won't help you to control your emotions. So you've got to understand that whatever happens, if the situations for some reason will turn 180 degrees, you've got to understand that never allow yourself to retaliate. It's like in your company, don't do the witch hunt. If it's your fault, take the blame, but you've got to understand that first of all, it's not going to help you if she'll retaliate or you'll retaliate, if the situation will be the opposite. But you've got to understand that you cannot take responsibility for someone else's reaction. My fault is my fault, but how you reacted or how she reacted is completely different thing. And you may say, but that was my fault at the beginning, so why would I get angry if she do something wrong? Well, think about it this way. If she will spill her coffee on your laptop and it's going to burn, basically, you have to buy a new one. Is that justifies me taking her favorite coat and burning it on the front lawn? It's not. So that's why if you don't want to have something like this when you're going to fail, you've got to keep yourself in check when she's going to do something stupid, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen for her, it's going to happen for you, and it's going to probably happen for both of you. So don't overcomplicate these things by pouring the gasoline on the already burning relationship. First of all, you're never going to be able to protect yourself. There's no way to control everything. Second, don't make it worse by reacting the worst way that you can do that. Don't retaliate. But point number three, you've got to understand that 99% of the arguments and problems that are growing to this degree is because you don't talk to each other. This is my experience, and percentage is basically, taken out of from thin air. But when I look at every situation that we had in our relationship, there wasn't many of them, but there were a few major ones that taught us a lot about, a lot about relationships and a lot of how this whole thing worked. And every time it was a problem because we didn't talk. We didn't spend enough time to say, listen, let's figure it out. Let's try to deal with this before it's gonna, blow up in our faces. And every time we fail in this, and when we fail in this, it gets worse, and then we wake up when it's already too late, and this whole thing just exploded. So you've got to understand that that's why there are two of you in a relationship. If you're just, we're talking about this situation when you failed. If you're going your way, you've got a plan, you're doing this or that. She's there observing you, and many times because they're so intuitive. Most of them will have much broader experience, much broader sense from with what's happening. She'll see that there's some flaws in your plan, or you change the direction. It's not going to end up well. And in that situation, you've got to learn how to listen. You've got to learn how to give her a chance to say what she feels, even though if you don't agree, even though it might be tough. You will have to learn how to take criticism, because that's why she's there. Because when the table will turn, what you will want to do is say, listen, let me try to let me tell you what I feel, because I don't want you to get hurt. Cooperation, not competition. Whenever she says something that you might want to think about, don't treat it as an attack on you. Treat it as that she's saying that because she loves you. Exactly the same thing happens when you're trying to save her. Tell her, listen, if you're going to continue that, it might blow back. So look at it this way and let her speak. Let her have, even encourage her to do so. Whenever something goes wrong, she has to know that she can come to you and that you will turn to talk and you will try to fix it. Because sooner or later you're gonna learn it, or sooner or later you're gonna split. That's it. Just two ways. Pick yours. So again, you will never be able to protect yourself. You can't control everything. You just won't. Second, don't make it even more complicated by retaliating or allowing her to retaliate. It's just be able to stop her. She might be agitated. I get it. But you've got to control the situation. You've got to help her to understand this is my fault. Take the blame. Don't defend yourself. Allow her to say what she wants to say. Express her emotions, but don't retaliate. It's gonna destroy your relationship. And point number 3, the proactive way of doing with this, and then when this thing happened, the way to find a solution is to talk about it. This is the time to test how you understand how good you are with this ability to sit down and even though the stress is high, to talk about it, find a solution, fix the problem. Maybe then try to find how we could do a plan B, how to deal with this kind of situation later. But first of all, no blaming, no witch hunting. Find a solution, talk about it, deal with it now. Because this is what I want you to take from this video. You cannot protect yourself. You just won't. But the one thing that this kind of situation will show you is how good and how efficient you are as a relationship. Because it's going to basically lay it out in front of you. Whenever things, something went wrong, something, went south, how do you react to that? Are you able to talk about it, or are you going to scream and yell at each other and make this whole situation even worse? So that's why learn how to talk to each other. Learn how to encourage yourself to have this constructive criticism before things happen. And if they happen, and they will, Talk about it, find a solution, fix it now. Think about it and do something about it. Because at the end of the day, do you want to know how to survive when you fail? First of all, play proactively, listen. Second, treat her as you will want to be treated. Because karma is a bitch, and you're going to reap what you sow. So when she's failing, when she made a mistake, never retaliate, be supportive, help her to find to solve the problem. And 3, if you really failed, take the blame on yourself, find a solution. That's it. There's no way back to change the past. What you can do, find a solution, and kind of fix what happened, and then go towards a better future. When your relationship is going to be much better. Think about it, and do something about it. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, share, like, and comment as well. Tell me what's your story. Tell me what's your experience. Tell me what do you think about it. What I don't see. I know that I'll be able to learn from you a lot. And again, if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout, DM me, and I'll be glad to talk about it. That being said, see you tomorrow.